A brand new type of Facebook ad is going to be released in just a few days' time. I've been given an early demo by Meta, and in this video I'm going to show you what it is and how you can use it. I'm talking about omni-channel ads. I'm going to show you what they are, give some examples of what they look like, which advertisers can use it and when, all that sort of stuff. In this video, got some documentation to run through as well. So what are omni-channel ads? Omni-channel ads allow you to optimize for a mixture of online and in-store conversions. Now, we all know how important Meta's optimization setting is, right? So if you have the exact same campaign, same ads, same targeting, but one of them is set up to optimize for traffic, for link clicks, let's say, as a performance goal. Another one is set up to optimize for sales. You are going to get very different outcome. The one that is designed to optimize for sales is likely to get you a lot more sales, like really significant Meta's optimization. So being able to optimize for new things, as we are with omnichannel ads, there's also some other elements to it that I'll get to later on, is a really big deal. I think this is going to be a game changer for businesses that have both online and offline options, which a lot, not all, of course, but a lot of businesses do. And actually, I even think that some businesses that are purely online, that rely on Meta ads for a lot of their customer acquisition, might even look to incorporate an offline and in-store element. I've spoken to lots of e-commerce brands, for example, that love the idea of opening up like a flagship store in New York or somewhere, and having an in-store location. This might be the push for some of them that goes, yeah, I think we could do this now because we know we could reliably use our Meta ads that are already working online and help them drive in-store footfall and actual sales and purchases and the stuff that really matters to us advertisers. Okay, so I think that's really interesting. So Meta have done some alpha testing with about 100 advertisers that obviously meet the criteria. The results have been great. So I'll give you a couple of stats. So during testing, this optimization, the omnichannel ad type, drove a 16% lower cost per omni purchase compared to just optimizing for website sales. And an omni purchase is just a purchase that could either be done online or in store. 16% for what is effectively going to be ticking a few buttons. There are some other features as well, but effectively for a lot of people going to be ticking a few buttons is definitely not to be ignored. And because of that, alpha testing's done well. It's about to be rolled out to all available advertisers literally within the next few days for the majority of people. Okay, so let me show you what this then looks like. So let's have a look at some examples that show what these ads will look like to your prospects if you're going to be running an ad along these lines. So here's the first example. This is an example of an omnichannel ad. You can see it's got these locations listed at the bottom, like basically the different stores, how far they are from you. You can see the example copy has been given in store. You can click on that and you can take a look at some of the information around that store that is close to you. Obviously, you could see previously how far away it is. Then you can click through to a map and go in. So you might see an ad pop up and go, oh, I really like the look of that. Oh, they've got one of these just down the road. Oh, instead of waiting for delivery, I'm in town anyway. Maybe I need it quickly. I'll go ahead and run down a purchase. And of course, there are still some people that would prefer to buy things in store as opposed to online, particularly for businesses where you might want to try, apparel companies, for example. You might want to go ahead and try something on. So that's one of the examples. We've got another one here that shows this is like a local inventory ad. So you can see it says in store for the various products. And again, kind of what I talked about, you might see, oh, okay, ad pop up, right, this is in store. I can go down and grab this right now. For certain businesses, that's going to be really valuable, and you can set that up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But that's a couple of examples of what omnichannel ads might look like and how they might differ from regular ads. You've got this like in-store promotion here. Okay, so those are some examples of ads that your prospects, your customers may see. What's it going to look like from within Ads Manager for you as an advertiser? So when you've got this feature, when you've got omnichannel ads, the way you will see it is when you create a sales campaign, you will see this new conversion location, right? So we can see here under conversion location, which is at the ad set level, you've got website and in-store as an option. And you select one because that's the whole point of omnichannel ads, right? It's able to optimize for one or either or both, and all in combination depending on the prospect and what it is you're looking to push, right? So that will pop up. Then once you start running, you'll be able to see that we've got new reporting, sort of updated reporting columns to reflect the total conversions. So not just tracking, obviously might previously just been online conversions. Now we can track both through slightly different setups on a reporting side of things. You can see this column is called purchases brackets website and in-store. That wasn't available previously. And as part of Omnichannel ads, we've also got other new features. I've already shown you some with the locations being displayed and you'll be able to go through to maps and things like that. We've also got some new promotion options available here. And here you can see some examples where on this one, we've got an extra 10% off. Here we've got offers without like a specific discount code, but there's the offer tag. And that's going to work sort of between, obviously the ads are being shown as part of Omnichannel ads with the idea that people could either purchase online or come through in store. So some exciting new features. We know that promotions help drive sales. We can incorporate into this along with the other features that could potentially drive people in store or have them check out online. So very exciting stuff. So in a second, I'm going to talk about who can use omnichannel ads, what the criteria are, and also some best practices if you want to jump on this as soon as it's added to your ad account, which is something that I'd recommend. Before I do that, I just want to quickly let you know about our done for you Facebook and Instagram advertising services. So my company can create, manage, and optimize your Facebook and Instagram ads for you. We can take that workload off your hands if you're currently managing it yourself, save you a bunch of time, or take that workload off an agency you might be working with hands if they're not delivering great results for you. And we can almost certainly help you get significantly better results because we've spent tens of millions on the platform. We've worked with 3,000 clients in every industry you can think of, all across the world. Very much know what we're doing, absolutely breathe this stuff. So if that sounds interesting, there's a link in the video description. You can click on that, come through to a page on our website, book in a free call with one of my team members to find out more about how we might be able to help. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and do that, and hopefully we get a chance to work together. Okay, so who can use omnichannel ads? There are some criteria I'm going to run through. So you have to have physical stores as well as selling online. That's a fairly obvious criteria for this, which obviously means there's lots of Facebook advertisers this isn't going to affect. But there are those that this will affect massively in a really good way. You also have to have the conversions API set up properly to track offline conversions, and you need a minimum 4.8 event match quality score. Event match quality score is just basically how accurate is your data. Are you able to match up what you're seeing in the back end in your CRM with what's then being fed through the conversions API into your ad account, and how accurate are those? You need to have that. For Meta to be able to optimize effectively, this applies to all Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns, but certainly when it comes to offline conversions, you need accurate data in order to be able to go ahead and make that happen, right? You have to be using the sales objective. That's the campaign objective this works with, but this is available in all its forms, whether you're using Advantage Plus Audience, Manual, all that sort of stuff. That structure is being changed. So I think a number of accounts are going to get this omnichannel ads before they see the new Advantage Plus setup that I've talked about in another video. I'll include a link in the video description if you want to check that out. What's coming from an Advantage Plus standpoint are some significant changes. But yeah, just want to let you know that it has to be a sales campaign, but can be various different options. By the way, if you meet these criteria and you're watching this more than a few days' time and thinking, why don't I have this already? If you're a client of ours, we can just get it for you. We have access to be able to get that sorted and turn it on. Okay, let's talk about some best practices for omnichannel ads, because there's been some testing. It's early days. These are likely to adjust as we go on, but Meta provided some best practices and things that they say help improve results, and a lot of what they've said here makes sense with what I know about the platform and what logically makes sense. So good to run through this stuff, right? So as I've just described, make sure Meta is getting good data. Any issues with your conversions API and with event match quality, jump on it. Don't let that sit. Otherwise, even if you are able to continue technically using omnichannel ads, they're not going to perform as well. Have to have good data coming in, okay? Make sure that any location pages that you've got are up to date. A lot of businesses that do a lot of meta advertising that have in-store locations have sort of not really thought about using meta ads for the in-store stuff. The meta ads have more been to drive online purchases. So often, yes, they've got location pages, but they were set up many years ago. They're not really up to date. Nothing's being posted on them. Maybe it's got out-of-date contact information. Those are going to become a lot more important if you're going to use this campaign type and be looking to drive in-store conversions. So just make sure that those are up to date and gone through, and oh yeah, okay, we've got the old imagery and that's the old phone number, and these sorts of things. A lot of businesses will be on top of that, but yeah, something to watch out for. Recommendation is to use catalog ads from Meta, which makes complete sense given what this type of ad is and what it's designed to do, that catalog ads would perform better than any other type. In fact, in testing, catalog ad usage as opposed to other ads led to a 41% decrease in cost per omni purchase. I mean, that's absolutely huge. So absolutely you want to be using catalog ads. It's really cool to be able to use that in conjunction with an in-store option, because Catalog ads are typically thought of more on the online side of things and often for, say, retargeting, but we can use it in more creative ways as well. One of the things that Meta's encouraging advertisers to do who are using omnichannel ads is to experiment with ad copy and creative that encourages people to come in store as opposed to just purchasing online. Now, I think this is probably case by case and business specific. You may want to do this, you may not. I've worked with a lot of businesses that will say that their in-store customers are more valuable because they spend more. So their average order value might be 2x if someone comes in store versus purchases online. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, using some ad copy and creative to encourage more in-store interactions as opposed to online might be a great idea. You may also want to do that around specific timings. So if you're selling things that could be a gift for a certain date, but there's no longer long enough to guarantee shipping in time, then you could encourage people to come in store more than purchasing online. So let's say from the 20th, 21st of December through to, Christmas Day, people have got to come in store to purchase to guarantee delivery and have their thing in time to be able to give it as a gift, for example. You could apply the same to Mother's Day or Valentine's Day or whatever date in the calendar you are using as a promotion. But that's kind of a case-by-case basis, I think, on that one. Using local inventory ads seems to do well. That's the example I showed you previously where you can see like the product and in-store. Makes total sense. We often, if you see an ad come up and you think, oh, I can see as part of this ad that there's a store, if I didn't already know, just down the road, a couple miles away. They've got one of these right now in store, up to date and current. You obviously want to make sure that is the case, that it all feeds through properly. Great, I'll just nip in and grab that. Don't have to wait for a delivery. Don't have to be in. Don't make things a lot easier if you go ahead and do it that way. So local inventory ads are working well. And Meta also recommends creative diversification. This is something I've talked about across Meta and Instagram advertising. I think it makes total sense that it would operate here. Different people respond to different styles of ads. Often we want to do testing to find out the winner, the best format. And, there is some value to that, but also be aware that some people are just basically never going to watch a video. Therefore, video ad formats aren't going to get them, but they might be sort of their attention grabbed with an image and be able to interact with the ad to get them to the point where they take the next step. And then vice versa as well, right? So people are far more likely to engage with video and do that way. So just something to think about, I think, with all Meta advertising as well as with omnichannel ads is creative diversification, not just always optimizing for the single best performer, thinking, different people react to different things. Same applies to different types of ad creative, ad copy and messaging. And, we use like the call out method in some scenarios, and other scenarios we're going to use things that are a bit more subtle because different people are going to react differently. And you can have those running simultaneously within your ad account. With copy, we'll often do that with text variations and headline variations, or primary text variations, headline variations, for example, but you can also do it with your creative as part of an omnichannel ad campaign or a regular ad campaign. Now, earlier I mentioned about the big changes that are happening to Advantage Plus campaigns. Effectively, we're all going to be using Advantage Plus campaigns under the new setup, but within that, there are still options to change things and revert back to a more like a manual setup. But it's definitely something that you need to be aware of and you need to be familiar with before it comes in to your ad account. With that in mind, I'd recommend you check out this video because I walk you through, I've got an early access to these features and I walk you through the exact process of what's coming and how to set things up under the new system and take advantage of basically a completely new Facebook ad campaign structure. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check this out.